Boiled potatoes with Quark and flaxseed oil, or in German Pellkartoffeln mit Quark und Leinöl, is such a delicious, it's not really a recipe, it's more of a composition than an actual making of a recipe, but it's perfect for springtime. And whether you are here because you have actually looked for this recipe or because you were intrigued by the title and the thumbnail and you were just browsing, stay tuned because this is such an easy German recipe and I'm going to show you how to put it together. And if you're new on my channel, welcome. My name is Anja here at Our Gabled Home, where I love sharing heritage homemaking made simple, and I often have a lot of German recipes just like this one today. The first part of this recipe, the boiled potatoes, I have already going here on my stove, and I want to talk about boiling potatoes and the type of potatoes that are in my mind really critical for this recipe. So first of all, I barely cover my potatoes with water and I put them on a, what Germans call a silent boil, leise kochen. So it's basically just more of a simmer. If you boil your potatoes too vigorously, they will crack open and then get really watery. You want to avoid that as much as possible. If your stove has too much output, what you can do, just what I did here, you can crack your lid just a little bit so that the steam doesn't build up and the heat doesn't build up so much inside the pot. As for the type of potatoes, I recommend you use the best potatoes that you can find and afford. I am using German butterball potatoes because they have a really nice buttery taste to them and a nice golden yellow color. However, any potato that you have works just as well in this recipe, but because this recipe is so simple, I think that the individual ingredients will stand out even more than if you're adding a bunch of cheese and salt and whatever else to your potatoes. The next ingredient is quark, or some people in this country may call it quark. It is a soft cheese, and I have a card here and for a video in which I teach you how to make it because it can be a little bit tricky to find sometimes. We will put that into a bowl here, and I will leave a link for a printable recipe in the description box so you can just watch this video and don't have to take any notes. For this recipe, I would like my quark to be just a little softer, so I am adding a little bit of milk here. And mix that up. So this is really more of a simple dish, a peasant dish. I think it comes from the region around Berlin. My family used to eat it very often when I lived there, and my grandparents had it all the time, so I have very good childhood memories of this dish. It might be nice to add a little bit of salt to your quark to give it just a little bit more flavor. Now, if you are watching this and you're wondering, well, I'm not really into making my own and I can't find it in stores, you might be able to use ricotta. Use the small curd ricotta. Oftentimes it does have salt already in it, so I don't necessarily recommend adding more salt to it. So I like this consistency here. And now we will chop some herbs. I went into my garden and picked some parsley. I picked a sorry little bit of dill here. This is all I could pick before actually pulling out the whole plant that is just coming up in the spring. And I've got some chives. Any herbs work fine. If you don't have any fresh herbs, don't worry, just use dried herbs. So I'm gonna chop these and I will take my trusty old Wiegemesser, it's like a Mezzaluna, and I'll show you how that works. I'll cut the chives first here in really small little rolls. We usually like to have a little bit more in the way of herbs, but that is absolutely up to you and your preference. or availability. And here's how the mezzaluna works. I have my herbs here in my quark. Give that a quick stir. Set that aside for now. Let's check on the potatoes. Now the potatoes are done. I poked a knife in them and they were soft, and I let them cool down just a little bit so I can touch them. And then I have this little potato pick here. I'm gonna leave a link for it in the description box below this video. However, it is a very German thing, but it comes in very handy in peeling your potatoes. You just pick them up and peel them with a knife. And this is how nice and yellow, buttery almost they look. And now it's time to put this dish together with the last of the 3 ingredients here, and that is flaxseed oil or flax oil. I personally love and have been using Barlean's flaxseed oil. It's a great company that makes high quality products. You can get these online or in your favorite store. Again, there's a link in the box below this video, and here is how you assemble this dish. First, we add a good bit of quark, some potatoes, and you simply generously sprinkle the flaxseed oil on it. It has a bit of a squirt top, so trying to not make it squirt out as much. Whoop! There it is. Ooh. Anyways, this is your dish. Very simple. Pellkartoffeln mit Quark and Leinöl, boiled potatoes, quark, and flaxseed oil. It's perfect for spring and so healthy and really good for you with the high protein of the quark and the potatoes and the high quality oil of the flaxseed oil. If you're looking for more authentic German recipes, I have an entire playlist here. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.